Hello, Stephen White, Steve Arts 89 again. I thought for Madonna's birthday it'd be fun to go through all my Madonna collection, I guess, of stuff. And I only got about halfway through before I got over 20 minutes for the video, so I thought I'd better stop and split it up because I was just going into DVD. So I went for all my books and magazines and tour programs, and now I'm going to look at CDs, DVDs, and other things. So here is my giant collection of Madonna cassettes, or singles, cassette singles. Actually, these aren't singles, are they? No, that is a single. Okay, so of course I got a few of these. They've never been opened. I'm not gonna say where I got them from, but they're just cute. I just thought the artwork for some of the artwork for her singles was beautiful, and some of it I never liked. But I thought these ones were gorgeous, and I just had to have some cassettes, even though obviously they haven't been opened. I don't have a cassette player. But so we've got Vogue, Hanky Panky. You can probably recognise what they are just from the images. Just for My Love, Rescue Me. And they don't have a lot of artwork on the back, unfortunately. But I've got those. I do have some others, but they I just have the sleeves, which are in a folio. I don't have the actual cassettes anymore. Now, this is the Madonna 40th anniversary. I'm thinking of Star Trek. It was just the 83 to 08 Warner Brothers album collection, basically. And the interesting thing that I found with this was on the inside, basically, I saw a smaller version first. It just had like her best albums. It was like Ray of Light, Like a Prayer, True Blue instead of Like a Virgin for some reason. And what they are is they're sort of like recreations of the vinyl covers, where it's just a little sleeve, and it's just got the front cover and the back cover. So it has each album with pretty much the original artwork. And you can fit all in one nice neat little box, which sits on my bookshelf, so I can always just grab a physical copy of Madonna whenever I want to listen to it, instead of just doing my iTunes or YouTube. So these are recreated fairly well. They're not 100% quality. Really only noticeable with Bedtime Stories. It's very contrasty, not as soft and colourful as the original sleeve was, and for some reason they put a white border around it. And yes, there's different versions of this album cover with her image flipped around, and the back is really overexposed, because obviously I have the original and you can actually see grainy tones in it instead of this white with these floating eyes. But the rest of them are reproduced pretty well, and I don't know why Bedtime Stories seems to have some bad reproduction with the images, the covers. I've seen a few. Of course, we get to music, American Life, and it stops at Hard Candy, this set. But I added in MDNA, and somewhere I had I've got Rebel Heart and Madam X in there. Now I'm just going to get some regular copies and do what I did here, basically just take the booklet out of the booklet, just have the cover, and that way they won't get scratched. So it's sort of similar. So I actually have, so I can just grab all the albums, because there's enough room in here to fit a few extra albums. There's still enough room for one or two more in there. So I love that, because it's so easy to sit on the shelf and grab it. And then I guess I'll go to the other albums. I got the Confessions Journal special edition. So you got a journal, Confessions Journal, so you can confess all your, I guess, dirty deeds on the dance floor. And I think I started, okay. Yeah, I haven't used it, but I'm actually going to go through and write up I'm a gay man. I've spent many years on the scene, and I've decided to turn this into my little diary of things I did in the clubs. And I did the first page and I haven't finished it. But the box was just the title on each side. But what I really loved about this, which was beautiful, was the actual booklet, which is all photography from the Confessions photo shoot and just the Confessions era, obviously being the Confessions album. And currently it houses my extra disc of the concert. But I'm not going to go through all that. I probably should do a review of some of these all separately. Now, I don't know how interested people are in this stuff. I love looking at other people's stuff, and if only one or two people look at it and actually see it when, you know, they can't get their own copy or they've never been able to find one on collection-wise, I think it's worth doing it for that. So I'll probably do a few of them, but I don't have a lot of subscribers, and it's really just luck if people are searching and view your videos. So I just do it for fun, so I probably will just do them because I think it's fun. The hard candy box, of course. Now I bought this and it was full of candy, but I eventually ended up, I kept some, but the rest I don't have a lot of space. I had to put all my CD covers in here, so all the ones I kept anyway. So we've got Human Nature. This is all singles. Rebel Heart. I Remember. Secret. You'll See. Most people can recognise these by the photos anyway. One More Chance. I don't know how that got marked. Frozen, which was very warm. The artwork for that I always thought was that kind of ironic. Whereas Ray of Light had all the blue shots. So Ray of Light, Substitute for Drowned World. Now that was part of a 2-set. I never was able to find the other part, which sucks. I probably should try and find that. Power of Goodbye, which had some interesting mixes. And What It Feels Like for a Girl one was good. It had a separate little, I don't know what they're called. They're not sleeves, but they feel like that. And it actually has a poster of that inside. So I want to try and put that away properly. And then I have my other cassette singles because I didn't put all of them in my folios. So there's Cherish. Now these are most of the ones I stole off my sister, because she used to collect Madonna stuff. Or she was a fan back in the day and then stopped being a fan. And the other ones I've just come across. And I probably should have kept them in their original condition, but I thought it was easier to just take them apart, flatten them out, and then I can store them easier because I can still look at them. The important thing is I can see them, I still have them, I can look at them. You know, I can connect to the memory of owning them, and you have the tactile thing of having the object. It doesn't need to be for me, it doesn't need to be in the original pristine condition with the cassette inside taking up so much space. The other ones I kept because I thought they looked gorgeous and they weren't unopened, and I thought maybe I could sell them on eBay or something, but I was never quite able to get rid of them. So those all live in the box, so I'm using that for storage space. I kept some of the candies, and the CD just had I think one extra JT track and was black instead of pink. So now of course we have the Rebel Heart box, or box set I guess, well, I don't know what you call it. One edition of the album came with a bunch of postcards, or not postcards but prints. And this one, it didn't come with this edition. This one was just, opens up and you get a bunch of images and the CDs which are no longer in there. And yeah, that's what you got basically. Actually, no, it wasn't that way. And of course, Madam X, which I did a little review of. And I keep the other booklet in there as well. Where is it? Somewhere. Yeah, it's in the center. So I can look at them both whenever I feel like it. Now we come to the DVDs. Now, this is an Australian box set which some people may not have seen. And it had 3 Madonna films because Madonna was a movie star. Hello. Several successful films. A few bombs. But people actually forget that some of her films made money. And this one had In Bed with Madonna, Body of Evidence, and Desperately Seeking Susan, of course. And I always loved the cover. I've kept it. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff because I just don't have the room. And this box could easily be folded. The discs could be kept in a CD holder, but I just can't let it go. I love to have it on the bookshelf, my Madonna collection. And this inside, of course, Desperately Seeking Susan. Although, yeah, that is the original. There is a different edition which isn't red on the spine, which is the standard one. Everything else is the same. In Bed of Madonna, saying they all have the same spine, which is different, and it's the only difference, I think, from the editions that were out at the time in Australia. But with mine, in order to save space, I had to make everything a six disc set. So that's got, and that when they did the New York screening, New York films in America, in Australia, a group called Cinemaniacs did a New York themed year-long movie marathon, and one of the films was Desperately Seeking Susan. And when you went to the screening, every seat had this reproduced picture of Madonna, that the selfie, the original selfie, when she invented it in '84, in the film. So everyone would find one of those on their seat. So I grabbed a couple of those that people left, or they had extras, and I ended up with a few of them. But yeah, I've got Shanghai Surprise and Crazy for You, and some reason Up. I'm trying to keep in theme and year, but after I didn't have anywhere else to put it. So this is all the sort of early 80s films up until Bloodhounds of Broadway. And in Bed of Madonna is the 90s stuff up to Evita. And so is Body of Evidence, which has 4 rooms and Dangerous Game, and it goes up to Swept Away and Die Another Day. So that's part of the reason why I've kept them, is because they're not just 3 discs. The box set actually holds all Madonna's films that I've got on disc. And now we come to the older box set of the video collections, the Ultimate Collection and the Immaculate Collection. Now, I bought that even though I had the separate discs, because I just wanted the box. So, and just like the others, it's a 6-disc set. I had thousands of DVDs. Like, I worked it out. It was like 3 or 4 or 5,000 or something that I had, and that's not separate discs. That's like box sets, and 2-disc box sets, and individual purchases. And I had to get rid of a lot of them and put them all in storage and in CD cases because they take up less room, because I just couldn't have bookshelves and bookshelves of DVDs anymore. Although I'm keeping most of the physical media, which I think everyone should do. But that had just a collection of stuff that was kind of close in age, like Immaculate Collection, 93 to 99, and then Greatest Hits, Volume 2, and the Thunderpuss Mega Mix. And then, of course, we get to Celebration, which, similar thing, I've got the 2-disc box set, the 2-disc album, and then the 2 singles. So a lot of my stuff is compiled like this, so I've got more than it looks. And then I guess the last thing, second last thing, is the tours. Now again, same thing, I've got my unofficial Virgin tour in with the Ciao Italia, which I used to call Kaya O Italia when I was a kid because I didn't know how to pronounce it. So I still call it Kaya O Italia sometimes, because I just hope I've never done it in front of anyone. Who knows what it is. And I got a Blonde Ambition one, which had a really cute Immaculate Collection design for the cover, but I want to get one that uses the actual artwork, which I've seen a few people have bought from the Madonna shop and stuff. And of course, Girly Show, Drown World, and then I threw in, I think that's the music single in there, because I had to fill in 6. But that was one of the first Madonna DVDs that I bought, like the tour DVDs, because the other ones I got on video and I watched them. And I bought the DVDs a lot later when I wanted to watch them. But this one I was so excited. I'd missed the tour. I thought she would tour, and I just assumed she'd come because she came for the last concert and she didn't, and I was like heartbroken. And then it was shown on TV, which helped, like the Girly Show was. And it was not that I saw it on TV, I saw it on video years later. but they released the DVD fairly quickly, and I was able to enjoy it, and I watched the hell out of that. Now, God, I'm going to tell you a secret now. I ended up getting an unofficial reinvention tour, but it was filmed and almost completed, but never released and finished. So the video is pretty good if you buy it, but it's not really complete. So it seems a bit basic and amateur in a way, but it's like the video production, not the concert. But it was always a bone of contention that, just like history repeats itself, just like Truth or Dare, they had this gorgeous Blonde Ambition footage that was filmed, but we only saw some of it in the film, and the rest we missed out when they really should have created a separate concert film and released that on DVD, not the one that was just done for TV that was released by Pioneer or whatever, which is what we have now, which some nice people have remastered and put on YouTube, some nice fans, but from the Laserdisc and done a widescreen version as well. But we all want a proper version, and we want that film. We want it scanned for high definition and turned into a film. Some people claim it's disappeared, it's lost. Some people claim people have it and they just want money to actually produce it, and no one's offered them, or they haven't gotten the money they want, or they're holding on to all the documentary footage from that, thinking they can bribe Madonna or get just a good deal to make an extended edition or a different. Just, I hope it's true and it services at some point. But that for a while was all we had of that concert, but then there were bootleg ones made, so yay. Confessions, another thing. I thought she was going to come here. I actually bought tickets for Chicago. I was going to go, and then she was supposed to tour here, so I cancelled because it was still easier to stay here and I'd get better seats. And then she cancelled last minute. She did apologise on her internet site, on her website, so I printed that out and kept that for a while because I was so devastated that I'd gotten that close to seeing it but still didn't. And then the DVD came out, and I was able to watch it without being too bitter, and it came out fairly quick, so it was good that the DVDs were coming out pretty much fairly quickly after the concerts, and we didn't totally miss out on experiencing. And this one, like the Girly Show, I got to see projected at the same cinema that that club I mentioned before, Cinemaniacs, uses, the Madonna fan club, and that had arranged some screenings of, before Rebel Heart, of the Confessions tour and the Girly Show. To see them on the big screen, it was almost it was an experience. It was almost like seeing the concert, so that was great. But this same thing, I've got all the singles and the album in with there, and I don't know packaging wise if there's much difference between the Australian versions and the UK or the American versions, so I don't know if anyone's getting much from this. But this is actually the Blu-ray, but they didn't do a standard DVD cover of it unlike all the others, so it was a bit odd. So I bought the Blu-ray and found, just with moving the sticker and just the design itself of having her image right at the top, that I can put it in a DVD cover and you don't really notice that it's not a DVD. And yep, so it's a 2-disc set. The album, the singles, that's the one from the box set, the Hard Candy box set, which is only a different colour. Like some of the artwork in the booklet, that's what I didn't get, the booklet. It had slightly different artwork from the CD booklet. And of course MDNA, always hated the cover. Much better artwork done for the promotion and the tour book, and they went with this. I never liked it. So there's the 2-disc album, 2-disc video, Blu-ray DVD, and the live album, 2-disc CD. Then we get to the Rebel Heart tour, which I waited for with bated breath because I'm in it, and it was the one I saw, so it was very important to me that it was done. I'm disappointed that there wasn't an extensive special feature documentary or featurette about the actual tour, because I know they filmed a lot of footage, but they didn't end up doing that. And this version excludes Love Don't Live Here Anymore, which I can't believe. She excludes that, but includes a little speech about the problems in Detroit, and I'm like, really? Maybe for one broadcast that would make sense, but overall longevity, they should have documented that song. The idea was, apparently they were going to do like a jukebox and have extra songs in the special features, or do a long version and just include a lot of the a couple of songs from different concerts in the one, so the Heart stage section would be a bit longer. It didn't happen. They just did a 2-hour deal a movie for a 2-hour deal, a deal for a 2-hour movie on HBO, and that was it. But so it's a 2-disc set, 2-disc set, 2-disc set. So that's my DVDs. And the only thing left, I have kept a lot of things that I have in folios, and some of it is articles, like covers, posters, but the rest of it, like that's the original posters my sister had up on the wall that I stole years later. The first images of Madonna I ever sort of saw. But I've got like a lot more stuff I've got that I just found ways to compile and put it away so it takes up less space. I've got the cassettes, the old video covers, the old different DVD covers. So these folios are just all full of little small records that could fit in just everything. And I've got 2 of them. So that goes up until Evita. So it ends with Evita. That's one of the flyers that they gave out at the time. And then it goes, second one goes to From Ray of Light, and it's still going. So various little promotions and just CD covers, CD single covers. So there's a lot of stuff I bought that I have memory of. I can look through this and remember having them and looking at them, but I don't actually have them taking up the physical space they used to. A lot of people, they have whole rooms full of Madonna stuff. I probably could have filled a couple of bookshelves if I'd kept all this stuff in its original form, original condition, and kept everything that I ever bought. And I didn't, and part of me feels a bit inferior as a fan when I see all these photos of people's collections, but I know I still have my stuff, and I know I did buy a lot of stuff, and I still have some of it in a lot of ways, but it doesn't make me less of a fan, just makes me less of a merchandise freak, I think. So I might go through them one day for a separate video later, and because I find it interesting. I think there has to be a couple of people who will find the different Australian covers and different versions interesting, and some of which they don't have or haven't seen. But I'm just going to leave it there. So that's the second half of the video. What I didn't find was a couple of booklets that came with the DVDs and with the CDs that I was going to go through. I forgot them because I thought I had everything here before I did the video, but I didn't. But thanks for watching if you did. I hope there's something in there that you saw that you hadn't seen before, but I might do some separate videos and review some of the products and just go through things just in case other people do want to see them, in case they can't get their own copies. I find it interesting. So thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.